Sixth assumptions is about absence of influential outliers. To check this, you need to go to Analyze Descriptive Statistics, click on Explores, click on Statistics, and click on Outliers to report residuals that are outliers. Now we see that here there are some tables, but in extreme value tables we see that SPSS reports some residuals that are maybe outliers. For example, for cholesterols and for LDL highest and the levels listed here, and maybe some of these residuals was outliers. But to be checked about influential outliers, you need to go to dataset columns and check about Cook's distance columns. Now you need to check about amounts of these Cook's, and if you have Cook's distance more than 0.5 value, that's residuals, and that's Cook's distance is influential. But now we see that there isn't any participants with Cook's distance more than 0.1. Another way to check about influential outliers is to plot a line plot, to draw line plots with Chart Builder. To do this, you need to go to Chart Builder, click on line, click on simple line counts, and import ID to x-axis and Cook's distance for first independent variables and also for second independent variables, and then interpret charts. Okay, click on OK. Now we see that for cholesterols there isn't any residuals near 0.5, and we can assume that residuals are near to zero number, and there isn't any influential outliers for cholesterols and also for LDL. Then we can assume that, we can conclude that absence of influential outliers assumptions is okay and is valid for this model. And difference here is all modern YouTube channels, and all modern YouTube channels has 145 subscribers with 61 videos. Our videos in different statistical programs, for example SPSS, RStudio, and Smart PLS, and Minitab, and some another statistical programs. If you have not followed our modern YouTube channels, please press subscribe and notification buttons to be notified about new tutorials. And especially comment your ideas and like our videos. And if you want to record and upload a specific tutorials, write in comments. If I want to review videos totally, I go to video parts, and you see that some of these videos is in Persian, but you can watch these videos with subtitle, YouTube AI subtitles without any problems. And now let's go to training and interpret tables in SPSS report. To check about tables in SPSS reports and interpret tables, first tables is multivariate tests. Multivariate test is a tables to interpret relationship between independent and dependent variables totally. For example, if you want to say, is there a relationship between genders and both dependent variables, you need to check. In multivariate test table, we have a hypothesis about genders and dependent variables. For example, if we code dependent variables as 1 for cholesterol and 2 for LDL, for genders, we want to check this hypothesis. Means that equal mean of cholesterols for male and female, and also means simultaneously equal mean of LDL for male and females. And for class independent variables, we have 3 categories: pre-diabetics, diabetics, and non-diabetics. And in multivariate test tables, for every test reported here, hypothesis, null hypothesis, is similar to this. Means every test wants to check about equal of mean for cholesterols in pre-diabetic, diabetic, and non-diabetics participants, and also and simultaneously equality of mean for LDL dependent variables for pre-diabetics, and diabetics, and non-diabetics. In other words, we can say that there is not interaction between gender and class with SIG equal .80 88 and 10 SIG, and we can say that there is a linear relationship with class and both dependent variables, because SIG is less than 5%, and there is not a linear relationship between genders and dependent variables, because p-value or SIG for genders is more than 5%. But now there is a question: if there is a linear relationship between class and both dependent variables, is it true to say that there is a linear relationship between class and cholesterols, also with class and LDL dependent variables? Is it true? To see and interpret about this hypothesis, we need to go to another tables. In test of between subject effects table, we can check about a linear relationship between every independent variables with every dependent variables. But what's null hypothesis for every parts of these tables? Now you want to check about a linear relationship between cholesterols and now it's a time to check about estimated marginal means. Now we see that SPSS reports some descriptive statistics for dependent variables given independent variables. For example, here we see about genders and pairwise comparisons for cholesterols and LDL given genders. For example, we see that there is not any difference between male and female cholesterols and also male and female LDL index. And finally, for a class report here descriptive statistics, and also here pairwise comparison reported, and now we see that there is a linear relationship between diabetic and non-diabetic participants in cholesterol index, and there is not any difference between, for example, the non-diabetic and pre-diabetic subgroups, or pro-diabetic and non-diabetic subgroups. And in these tables, we see that only there is a significant difference in cholesterols between non-diabetic and diabetic participants. In profile part, we see that SPSS reports estimated marginal means for cholesterol, and now we see that for female genders there is a large difference between diabetics and with non-diabetic and pre-diabetic amount of cholesterols, but there isn't any significant or difference in cholesterols for male, female in diabetic, non-diabetic and pre-diabetic participants. For LDL, we see that estimated marginal means for female and also male participants is equal for different subgroup of class. Non-diabetic, pre-diabetic and diabetic participants have equal LDL means for males and also females participants. Okay, dear friends, this tutorial is overdone here, and in this tutorials I speak about two-way MANOVA in SPSS and how to check assumptions, how to interpret assumptions, and how to interpret different tables in SPSS reports. But in the future, I want to speak about analysis of covariance or ANOVA and multivariate analysis of covariance or MANOVA in SPSS, and then if you have not followed our modern YouTube channels, please press subscribe buttons and press notification buttons to be notified about new tutorials, and participate in a poll that I write in captions and in the video, and like and write your ideas about the tutorials. And until next tutorials, have fun. Goodbye.